Okay, thank you for agreeing to be part of this Mayor's Charities initiative and to be interviewed on video about your group and the work of your group. For the video, can you please tell us your name and the name of your organisation?
Yes, hi, thanks very much for inviting me to take part. My name's Jane Cayley and I work for Association of Carers.
And could you tell us something about the work of the Association of Carers, please?
Yeah, we are a Hastings-based charity and we work throughout East Sussex, and we provide free volunteer-led support to unpaid carers. So the vast majority of people we support are spouses caring for husband or wife at home, and we provide a volunteer to go either into their home to give them a bit of respite or a different service. There's a selection of services that we provide. So we do respite. We can provide kind of computer help, which gives carers an opportunity to learn how to use a computer or a smartphone to do some simple tasks that might make their caring role a bit easier. So like online banking or online shopping, keeping in touch with family and friends, because quite often carers are quite isolated. So being able to use the internet is brilliant for keeping in touch with people and accessing support information. And we do kind of other activities as well, lunch clubs. And in your neck of the woods, we have a carers cafe. We were able to run one before COVID, and we're going to be starting up that. It's in Peacehaven. We're going to be starting that up again soon.
Okay. And Jane, how did you get involved in this? What drew you into this personally?
Well, I've always kind of worked in third sector, done a lot of work with kind of, before I worked here, I actually worked with kind of teenagers, kids who were kind of outside of school. So I've always had an interest in roles where I was hopefully kind of helping, like seeking to help people or make a difference to people's lives. And I ended up working here because partly because I helped care for my mum when she was ill, and also just carers are often very unseen, and carers sometimes don't recognise themselves as being carers, but what they do is very much behind closed doors, so is not necessarily recognised as much as it should be by people, and they don't necessarily get the help that they need, and sometimes they don't have the time or the opportunity to advocate for themselves. So organisations such as ours that do that and kind of fight the corner of carers are really important.
Yeah. And how many people are involved with you in terms of your other volunteers, other colleagues?
So in terms of kind of staff, there's 6 of us. We all work part-time. It's just little old me in the office today because we're still kind of doing a lot of working from home and doing kind of staggered shifts in the office. So 6 part-time members of staff. And then we have about 200 volunteers doing a selection of the kind of support roles that I described around the county. Some volunteers kind of double up and do multiple kind of sits with multiple carers. But yeah, so we have a team of very dedicated, brilliant volunteers.
Good. And when were you set up? How long have you been in operation in the area?
We started off in 1987 in Hastings alone, and it was basically I wasn't involved back in 1987. It was basically a couple of carers in the area who identified, oh well, perhaps today I can come and bring the person I'm looking after around and help look after the person you're caring for, and you can go and do something, give yourself a little break. And it was literally just a kind of a sharing the kind of the support, and they went, this has helped me, this has helped us, why don't we make it a bigger thing? And it kind of grew from there. And so initially it was just Hastings, and then we have expanded to provide support throughout East Sussex.
Mm-hmm. Good. And the people that you work with alongside of you, the carers, presumably you call them carers, not beneficiaries or service users or whatever.
Yeah.
How many? Say I said the last. If I said the last year, then clearly the number wouldn't be accurate because of last year being very unusual. But if there ever was a normal year, how many would you work with? And can you give us an idea of how many might be Seaford people?
So we probably work with, I mean, the numbers fluctuate. People come and they receive support, and then, sometimes it's only short-term support they need. At the moment, we're kind of probably regularly supporting about 306 carers throughout the county, but we have far more on our waiting list. We've probably got about another 250 volunteers, carers on our waiting list for support. On top of that, actually, the direct support we provide, there's lots of signposting that we do. So we get carers that come to us that maybe we're not the right service for them. So we do lots of signposting to other organisations throughout the county. Probably have about, because we're based in Hastings and that's where we started working, we do have a larger pool of volunteers, carers, sorry, that we're supporting over this way. But over in your neck of the woods, it's probably about 50 that we're supporting. But we have about another, I did write the number down because I looked it up before I came here. How many do we? Oh, we have about another 35 carers in your area that are on the waiting list for something. They might be receiving a form of support, so maybe a phone call or something like that. But what they actually want is respite. So they're waiting for that. So we're providing what we can in the short term until we've got a suitable volunteer that can go and help them.
Okay. Now, on the basis you don't know what questions I might be asking in total, but what would you like, anything you want to tell us from the Association of Carers that you would like the people watching this video to know or to listen to that might not be one of the questions? So anything that you would like to bring out particularly?
Well, I mean, I guess the main thing is because we've got this carers cafe that I talked about, which is in Peacehaven, we will have a physical presence in your neck of the woods. So what I'd say is if you're watching and you're kind of curious, you're not sure whether volunteering is the right thing for you or whether this kind of charity is the right thing for you, maybe sign up to our social media or even just drop me an email and ask to be kind of kept in the loop about something. And I can let you know when the carers cafe is running. You could come along and meet us, see a little bit about what we do, think about whether it might be something you'd like to get on board with. But I mean, what we always say to people who are potentially interested in volunteering is just give it a go, get in touch and talk through any worries or concerns. We can be really flexible in terms of the kind of the volunteer roles that we're looking to fill and kind of time commitments and things like that. We can very much work around people's lives. And you know, the realistic kind of situation is that kind of anybody can become a carer, and it can be an overnight thing, you know, a minute to minute thing. Your life can change in an instant and suddenly you become a carer. So it could be you. So support carers charities now and you're kind of investing in support for your future kind of thing.
Yeah. And what are your most urgent needs in terms of the now? In terms of, is it people? Is it money? Is it what's your urgent present need then?
All of those things, but probably the most pressing need would be we would really like to recruit some more volunteers over in your neck of the woods. Again, because we're in Hastings, we find it much easier to kind of, you know, to get our name out here. You know, and it's quite a big town, and we've been established here for a lot longer. So in the parts of East Sussex that are a little bit further away, sometimes we find it more difficult to recruit volunteers. We'll come there and we'll do what we can, but it's just getting our name out there. So yes, volunteers. We are a nice bunch. We're fun, and it's a really, really great charity to support and be involved with. So. Yeah, come and see us or give us a call or follow us and check out our YouTube as well. I've done lots of chats with volunteers and carers that talk about why they volunteer, how they enjoy it, you know, and the impact it has on them and things like that. So
there's lots of ways to get to think about what could be possible before actually getting involved. And
yeah, very much so.
Good. Okay, so well, thank you for making time to do this today. Now, the previous question was about urgent needs, and clearly one of them from nearly all charities and not-for-profits is funding. So as part of this Mayor's Charities Initiative, 5 of the service organisations in Seaford are putting on an event in September called Support Our Seaford Charities. And it's unusual to have Martello Rotary, Seaford Rotary, NPNS Lions, Coastwatch, Bonfire Society together running one event. And the arrangement is that charities who come along get a free of charge stall on the basis of whatever you raise on the day is yours to keep. So do you think the Association of Carers, COVID permitting, might be coming to us to have a stall on the 5th?
Yeah, it sounds such a great opportunity to come and, you know, not least to have a fun time at the event, but just to get our name out there and, you know, let people find out more about us. So yes, definitely.
That's good. I look forward to either meeting, not meeting you, some of your people there on the 5th.
Fantastic.
So thank you for your time today.
Thank you for having me.